So what I'm going to do this in Anfield HQ style. So first one, Ollie. News, Liverpool switch attention from Brandt to Salah, open bracket, Melissa ready, close bracket. What are your initial thoughts on that? A, Brandt looks like it's off the table. We'll come on that one first. So Brandt, it looks like that one's gone. And Melissa seems to think it was Liverpool's decision, almost, to say, like, we don't think we can get him, so let's just knock this now.
Yeah, I found it a bit interesting, that a piece yesterday in terms of Brandt not thinking he'd get the game time at Anfield when... Yeah. You know, it's been said all season that Brandt's supposed to be the #1 priority target, which you'd think Klopp would have been selling to Brandt. So it would have been a bit strange had, you know, Klopp been out there and said, you know, we want you, you're a priority target, we want you to come in, to him sit on the bench. But to be honest, I haven't seen enough of Brandt to I think there's better alternatives to him, one of which I think is Mohamed Salah. I think he's, obviously, you know, Liverpool targeted him a few years ago, but I think he's a better option than Brandt. I don't think I've seen enough of Brandt. I'm not sold on Brandt completely. Okay. But I think, you know, it wouldn't be the end of the world if Liverpool were to move on from him.
Absolutely. And Rupert, that I was watching, Ollie kind of brought the next point up, was that he's been reported all season as Liverpool's #1 attacking target. Klopp loves him, he's been trying to get him, blah, blah, blah. And for Brandt to say he doesn't think he'd get game time at Liverpool, there does seem to be a bit of a disconnect there. Like, as someone, maybe as Klopp told him, right, you'll be used in a rotation, or, you know, I can see why he thinks that, because Coutinho, Firmino, Mane, Lallana, it will be hard for someone to break into it. But for me, it's a bit weird that our #1 target apparently doesn't think he'll get a game. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but I feel like it happens pretty much every transfer window, that we'll publicise, like, this is our main target, and then it just falls through, and I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but...
Someone else bids for him.
Yeah.
So, ooh, go on, dilly-dallying. Come on, we'll take advantage of that. Mohamed Salah, anyone, you know, albeit a January one. I get it, because, and it is the thing, don't be surprised if Brandt's opinion changes in 2 weeks' time, if there's a nice little, you know, Champions League place in the offing. But here's the thing, he stays at Leverkusen for another year and continues to be, you know, he will definitely be a first choice. I can get that. That he's not, he might not be up for the fight of it. He's probably looking at Phil Coutinho and going, "You want me to play there? Well, I'm not as good as Phil Coutinho. Or maybe I don't think I'll get into that side." But it also could equally be, because here's the thing: when we see, from what Rupert's kind of saying there, I think there is a temptation whenever we hear that a player, we're moving away from a player, having said we want someone, particularly on social media. What we love is people saying stuff and believing that opinions can never change on anything ever. Like, I saw one of the Arsenal Fan TV lads tweeting about Arsene Wenger. He should probably come out and say he doesn't believe in the football director of football model. And it said, 9 years ago, you said this. And I feel like going, 9 years, mate? 9 years ago?
2006.
Let's go back. Let me try and work it out. 9 years ago, I thought that Lost was the best TV show that could ever possibly be.
I thought Jan Kromkamp was going to be on the right back for 10 years.
Jan Kromkamp was an absolute legend. I still held out hopes the Florence Cinema Pongal could really crack onto the world scene, etc. You know, the point is, the point I'm driving at is that football, there's no more fluid a sport than football. Yep. Things change constantly, and you adapt and you change. It genuinely would not shock me if the last 6 weeks of our season has made us go, not rip everything up, but go, put the brakes on that, because let's use Brandt as an example of it. Julian Brandt's only going to play left side of an attacking today for us, by and large, because that's all he plays for. He's only really played for Bayer Leverkusen. I think I'm right in saying that. Mohamed Salah, he can play both wings essentially, and he's faster, and he's a bit older, and he's more experienced. And if he may, or maybe it's just there's been a hint from his agents in that time, and they go, "Ooh, he's going to be available," and they've gone, fuck you, mate. I can have that. You know what I mean? You can look at it either way. You can either look at it as inept Liverpool lose out on yet another target, or maybe we actually do. Shock horror, maybe we actually have changed our minds on
and
what
also,
we're
I suppose it reminds me of, like, if your missus comes and says, "Steve, I've cooked you a nice burger," and you go, "Oh yeah, I'll eat that," but next minute one of your mates comes in and they go, "Oh, Steve brought pizza around," that's fine, but that's available of sods.
Yeah.
So in this instance,
so you would choose pizza over a nice burger?
Yeah.
would you really, or are you just trying to back it on point?
No, I definitely would. I'm a big fan of Domino's Pizza.
What type? Right, okay.
Another sponsor.
Domino's pizza partner.
Papa John's, I'm not fussy. But if the missus made me a burger that she bought in Asda, or any other place, but then, you know what I mean? So that's nice, and I'll eat, that's fine, but then something else becomes available that's even better. I mean, I could have used different examples, but I chose not to because...
No, it's just, you
get it?
flying by the seat of your pants. No, I completely agree.
I was just trying to understand your point in my head, and that's
I think you fathomed it out spectacularly.
Yes. Let's talk Mo Salah then. I'm going to call him Mo because I want to, Ollie. Just let you know that.
Right.
Do you find it...
Bracket steal.
Bracket steal. Do you find it odd that... We said we need pace from when Mane isn't about, and I completely 100% do. Because the other day, we had a couple of chances to Liverpool to counter-attack, and Adam Lallana or Roberto Firmino or Phil Coutinho, they're just not quick. So the Southampton guys were catching them up with relative. So I get we need pace, but my issue with this one is he will also leave to go to the African Cup of Nations every 2 years because Egypt always qualified. They often win it. They're one of the best teams in Africa. That I get the player and I really understand it. I think he's a really good player and he'd be a really good signing, but... I think then if you'd done that, you would also have to sign someone else with pace because at some stage you're going to have to lose both of those to African Cup of Nations, and that would be a worry. And it should be something I think that Liverpool should at least be wary of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, obviously the other names that thrown into the mix is Oxlade-Chamberlain at Arsenal, isn't he? Who obviously wouldn't have to go to the African Cup of Nations, but probably someone who'd cost a hell of a lot more than Salah.
Just go to England and get injured.
Yeah, yeah. So it would be a bit of a strange one if you lost Mane and Salah at the same time. It would be, a massive blow. But then, come next January, Liverpool should sign another winger, and then
that's what we do.
Yeah,
the wheel continues. But
it's worth pointing out, though, of course, that's a problem for next summer, not a problem for this summer.
No, it is. I'm just thinking long term.
We're another year, 2 years away from one anyway.
Absolutely, it's just a consideration. But I suppose that was me. Ollie's. He's doing well. He keeps stealing me points. Well done, Ollie. As long as you bracket quote me on your ideas, I'm fine. Oxlade-Chamberlain plus Salah then, Paul, would make perfect sense because it isn't on the agenda, but I was reading recently yesterday by Chris Bascom. Apparently said Oxlade-Chamberlain wants to come to Liverpool and he thinks he's going to play centre midfield. Dead quick, Alex. Someone told James Milner that. Just saying. I'd love you to come.
It was Brendan Rodgers.
It was different manager. Don't get me wrong, it was a different manager, but he's playing left back now.
Jimmy Milner's going to be playing centre mid for Celtic.
James Milner got told he'd come and we'll play centre mid, James, honestly, and he's doing a shift at left back and he's doing all right, but just be warned, Alex, if you are thinking managers lie.
He's playing right wing back at the moment.
He is playing right back now, he could end up there.
Well, it plays into our hands though. That again, they continue to use him because he doesn't really want to play. Everyone wants to play centre mid or centre forward, don't you? If you're a midfielder, you want to play centre mid, and if you're a more attacking player or shit at footy, you want to play centre forward. So yeah, I think he will. I think he will play centre mid for us out of interest. I think he will be. We did a bit of this on the podcast recently, Chris and I, that where we've suffered is not necessarily in specialists, it's more people who are just better at playing in other positions, and how you could effectively, you don't necessarily need a centre forward if you can move Mane central, and you can only move Mane central if you've got somebody who can play right wing as good as or close to as good as Sadio Mane. And there's the thing about like the Adam Lallana thing. We've just got to when we move one guy out of position, we have to fuck two players to fix every one position that we're trying to fill a hole in the team. Oxlade-Chamberlain play him in the rotation in the two more advanced midfield positions of either Gini Wijnaldum or Adam Lallana. And then, if you need to move Mane or Coutinho, you can play him. You can play in one of them positions as well.
Do you like Oxlade-Chamberlain, Rupert? A player wouldn't mind us signing, or what? I think
he's all right.
You think he's all right?
He's all right. Yeah.
Just not.
I'm not a massive fan.
No. Well, Salah.
I think he'd be better, but obviously the African Cup.
Which again, that's a 2-year thing. But I suppose you've mentioned before changing your mind. The more I've watched Oxlade-Chamberlain for him playing right back or right wing back, the more I'm into the idea of us. So I've been against it, as you know, for a while, but his pace surprised me more. I didn't know he was that quick.
Yeah,
he is much quicker than I thought.